He's back. Yes, Arnold in yet another Terminator movie. And in case you're wondering how this fits in chronologically, little background story. There was two great A-plus films called Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Untouchable, A-plus films directed by James Cameron himself. Particularly, I like the second one. I think it's one of the greatest action films and greatest sequels of all time, with the CG effects, practical effects, and the characters. Everything about it was just like, wow, in your face, awesome. So, who would have thought they would actually make a third movie, which happens, even though it was the first not to be directed by James Cameron. And I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a good, fun, action-filled time. Arnold was cool, but it just didn't have the wow effect like the first two did. And it hinted a fourth movie, which came out in 2009. And at the time I enjoyed it, even though it was definitely different with its gritty looking background and everything, you know, considering it's the first that actually takes place in the future. But then I watched it again, it's okay. I mean, Christian Bale's performance was adequate, but it just doesn't have what the first two did. And it just tried to continue on a new part of the franchise. It didn't end it there. But unfortunately, in case you're wondering what happened with that, the studio that made the film unfortunately went bankrupt. So Paramount Pictures and Sundance Productions picked up the rights and decided to make yet another version of a fourth movie, and in came Terminator Genisys. Which, if you saw my review on it, was okay, but kind of forgettable. It was great to see Arnold back for the first time. Yeah, the last one didn't really have him. It was just a CGI copy of his face. Yeah, doesn't count right there. He was back in this film, but he definitely did show his age. But unfortunately, Linda Hamilton and all the other original actors, because it does try to go back to the first film, but unfortunately they're not in there. Instead, it's a bunch of other actors, and even another actor playing John Connor. Not quite as good as the originals, and even though Arnold was pretty funny to watch, it kind of wear out its welcome a little bit. So the idea of trying to reboot this yet again, because that film bombed at the box office so badly, even though yet again it tried to hint and start up a new franchise in the Terminator series. So James Cameron finally jumped in and said, yeah, I'm going to reboot this the way I want to. But here's the thing, he's not the director of this one. He's the producer. It's directed instead by Tim Miller, who of course directed Deadpool 1 and 2. So I was a bit skeptical yet again. After seeing the trailer, I thought, this looks okay. I mean, yeah, it's going to technically be the reboot of the third movie, even though I sort of enjoyed the third one. For one thing, Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger were returning. I wasn't too sure about John Connor, and okay, I'm not going to go into heavy spoilers on this one, but yes, it does start out with one of the scenes from the second movie, and I wasn't really too sure how they were going to go along with this chronologically. I mean, if you saw the end of the second movie, they tie the knot so tight. They destroy Cyberdyne. I mean, yeah, that's a spoiler for that film, but I'm sure all of us have seen that film at this point. And, well, I didn't know where else they were going to go at this point. I mean, yeah, it tries to follow through with it, with the whole, scene where she's in the mental hospital, Sarah Connor to be exact, how she's going all crazy and everything. And then it's like it follows through with it a couple years after, and then it like jumps into the present day, and then we get these totally different characters in Mexico out of all places, and I didn't know where this was going or where this was going to tie in, and then all of a sudden it's another T-1000-ish, more advanced type of Terminator from the future. So again, I didn't know where this was going. It was kind of bland, and then we get another human-ish robot, and they're all fighting each other. So there's not much explanation to it until Sarah Connor shows up, and we're like, okay, it makes some sense. And just to let you know, here's another spoiler, which is not too heavy. You don't really see Arnold in this movie until like the second half, at least after the first hour. So I'm going to go and say it was okay. That's about it right there. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of humor, which I'm not going to lie is kind of cheesy. There's a lot of corny jokes in here. With Arnold Schwarzenegger, you expect a lot of silly puns. I mean, that's to be expected. But in this one, they're just not as catchy. You laugh at the ones in the first two films, especially the second one, and even the third one had some pretty good ones, but I think after a while he's kind of losing his luster a little bit. I mean, really, even with most of the other characters, You get some chuckles out of some of them. I mean, there's the one like where he's in Texas and he makes the whole gun law joke and everything. And that's really the problem with some of these movies. They're just not as funny. They're not as memorable. While the action scenes are good, some of them are just, well, basically more traditional than really in-your-face awesome. I mean, there was the cool scenes, like some car chases, and you get the airplane scene, then you get the scene in the dam. It's okay. So that's about all I have to say about it. It goes on over 2 hours, which I felt was just a tad bit long. And yes, it actually is R-rated as opposed to PG-13, which the last two in the series, well, if you really consider it, compared to this one in the series, were. And so it's a good, refreshing thing, but because there's a couple of F-bombs being dropped in here. And, well, explosions and everything are cool, but I just feel like the series, the metal on the Terminators, you could say, kind of rusted out a little bit, you can say, for the most part. It's great to see Arnold back, but really, it's just losing its luster after all these years. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Cool action. He's a likable character in this movie. I don't have to go into further detail. I mean, the twist is interesting, but not interesting enough to consider it a great continuation and follow-up with the second movie, but I don't know. It's okay. I know this wasn't a huge success at the box office, and I guess because a lot of people didn't think it was going to be that great. I mean, how else can you top the first two James Cameron movies? You really can't. Even with him as the producer, it can't be done. But overall, it was decent fun. That's about it. You got the theme during the end credits that you're more familiar with, but you don't hear enough of it in the movie. But there are some interesting homages to the second film especially, and I had a decent good time right there. So that's all. Good fun action, but most of the time pretty forgettable in comparison to the first two. But I can't say I really expected it to be as good. So my final verdict is we remote Wii Motion Plus up, and well, Wii Remote down. That's about it right there. So, well, I would say until next time, keep watching, but a little bonus to add in here as well. That's right, Mortal Kombat 11 on Nintendo Switch. Review for the game will be coming pretty soon in the near future, but for now, we focus on, well, one DLC character that just released, which is a pretty interesting choice, and I think it's perfectly appropriate for this review. Yep, the Terminator himself. Was a little confused seeing how he had a beard and everything, but, well, after watching this movie, I realized, yep, that's the one from this film. So let's take a look, shall we? A little Let's Play game here, a little sneak peek at what you're about to see a review of in the near future. Not giving a particular date on it, but I will be working on it. Can't promise that it will be the next game review. I got a couple other things up my sleeve and on the list, but for now, let's play some Mortal Kombat, shall we? Okay, so, yep, there's some extra characters as you can tell, so let's select on mode. And which variation? Yeah, I guess I'll go with the Deadly Assassin one. After all, that's what he does most of the time, at least. At least in the first movie. I think I'm gonna have him versus the other movie star. You know, after all, Arnold is the big movie star. Alright, yeah, this is cool. Right through time. Yeah, okay, it doesn't sound much like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, I don't know, maybe they just... I guess they didn't get the rights to using his voice. Maybe it was his voice. I might be wrong. Ooh, yeah, it's cool. Okay. Yeah. Oh, cool. I'll shoot you. Yeah, oh, that's cool. These uppercuts with a gun. Alright, I'm just gonna check these special moves quick. Ooh! Actually, no, I take it back. It does sound like Arnold. Alright. Yeah, that's right, I'm a Terminator, you idiot! Yeah, bring a little kindergarten cop reference in there. Oh, that's what he uses instead of the swipe kick thing, or sweep kick. Come on, you piece of shit. Yeah, you mine. Ooh, yeah. Oh no. What are you doing? Stop it! I will terminate you. Yeah, I just want to let him hit me for a little bit, just so I can show you what the fatal blow move looks like a little bit. Ooh, not his. I mean, just Arnold's fatal blow. Ooh! Yeah! Alright, let me just double check, make sure I did this right. So I'm going to do the first one on Doc. So it's close, back forward, back Y. Okay. Okay, here it is. On Doc. And yep, revving up the motorcycle just like in the second Terminator. Okay. It's got blood, I mean, I'll give it that, but I guess I was expecting a little bit better. Maybe an appearance from the T-1000 would have been great. Even though, of course, he was fighting him in the second movie, and of course this is the Dark Fate version, as I mentioned before. Okay, I'm going to try this again. Skip this part, I don't need to show this again. And I want to show you some of the unique moves that he has. And I already showed you this. Yep, this is the, special one, because you press the top button. Otherwise, if you don't, then he just does that, obviously. Alright. Alright, let me just double check that again. Yeah, Terminator! Yeah. Yeah, you movie star! You can't hurt the Terminator. You can't. I'm a Terminator. Ooh, it hurts. I'm gonna drill your brain. Okay, yeah, I don't care much for Johnny Cage's fatal blow, but okay, movie star versus movie star, right? Oh yeah, an Oscar award. Oh yeah, you're going with your knee, Max? Okay, here you go. Now this is what we're waiting for. Ooh! There's a Scorpion reference in there. Arnold is Scorpion. Really? Not really the funniest, but it's just funny to hear him say that. And it's just funny how he can do all that to a Terminator. Johnny Cage, to be exact, for his fatal blow. Don't get down! I want to shoot you! I will terminate you! Yeah. Ugh. It hurts. Oh yeah! I show you bones! Stop with the mind games! No more reindeer games! Oh, come on! Ow, that hurts, even though I'm into metal. Okay, I'm doing too far with this. Okay, let's finish him. Okay, at least this is the Switch version, as you know, so there's no surprise there. About 2 steps away. Okay, here we go. This one I hope is better. Ooh. It'd be cool if it had a swear word like in the first Terminator movie. Oh, okay, yeah, this one's a lot cooler. Oh, yeah. Terminate him. Yeah! Okay, yeah, this one is the best one out of the two. So, yeah. Of course, I should mention a heads up, this is kind of a sneak peek at the review of this game. You gotta unlock these, the second fatalities. You get the first one on the list, but you gotta be online, and you gotta look it up online too, on the internet, on any game cheat guide to be able to perform the second fatality, because it's not on there, obviously. So, yeah, that one's pretty cool. There's also brutalities, obviously. They bring that back from Mortal Kombat X, but I think I've shown you guys enough pretty cool DLC. I'm hoping to see more of, well, Mortal Kombat characters to be exact. But, yep, until next time, people, thanks for watching.